Good morning. It's June 1st. Another month gone. I just came from the Visitation Church in Jerusalem to see where Mary met Elizabeth. And if you are watching my videos, you can actually, I'm sure that you saw it. If not, please go to my YouTube channel, subscribe it, and you will be able to watch it. I'm here today in a nice tour at the most important site for most of the Christians, and this is the place where Jesus was crucified, died, buried, and resurrected. Today we are honoring a couple, and it was so nice from Steve to tell me that his wife is very religious and he is a little bit not, or less. I didn't say not. That's not a good word. Then I decided to honor them with two crosses, Greek Orthodox crosses. The big one is for your house, then you will be able to see it all the time. But the small one is a gift, to carry your wife, that she can carry it in her purse to everywhere. And when she will feel a little bit down, she can actually touch it. It's very important for me because of so many reasons. I believe that there is some energy in those crosses, especially when we bless it at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Look at the entrance. Look how beautiful it is. Here I can show you a few things. The first one is the logo of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which is another name for it, the Church of the Resurrection, because the Greek Orthodox call it the Church of the Resurrection because that is the story. It's not about the tomb, they say. You can see here the Golgotha hill and the cross. Another thing that you can see here is lots of graffitis. One of them is quite old, from 1389. Now I'm entering to the church, and I can hear people are praying. Then first let's go to see who's praying there, and then we will visit the church. Because I started early morning the visit at the church, I first entered to the tomb, because as you can see there's no line, and blessed your crosses. The reason I did it without a camera is because I cannot enter with a video. Then that was a Greek Orthodox blessing, but what is amazing to see here is the sun entering to the tomb of Jesus, straight to the entrance of the tomb. Can I talk? What you actually saw, which is so difficult to see, is that they are repairing the floor of the church, and they took the stones out to see what's happening beneath it, excavation. But then they will bring it back after they will renovate it. Then you saw something that usually you cannot see. Then look how beautiful is the sun actually touching nicely and beautifully the tomb of Jesus. The first part of the tomb, you see where the candles are, this is the angel chapel, who took care that no one will steal the body of Christ. The inner part is the tomb itself, which is closed, of course. They renovated the Adicula lately and they opened it, and guess what? It was empty. Some people believe that the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is not the correct place. They believe in it because of few reasons. The first one, it's inside the walls of the city. True, it's actually the Times Square of the city. The second reason is that they say that there is no evidence of the tomb here. Then I want you to see that in that place we can find Jewish tombs from the time of Jesus. And this is so crucial for me, mainly because that will show us that that is the correct place. But then I cannot argue with the other story of the other place in Jerusalem, the Garden Tomb, which is such an amazing place too. I'm visiting it from time to time, and as my daughter said, she feels like an angel. She feels that she used to play with angels there. Then this is part of the Ceramic Church, Church of Syria, and they speak. Sorry, the Church of sorry, not say Church of Syria. The Coptic Church, and you can see the Coptic monk here as well. And they're such a beautiful people. And the tomb is just on the other side of their beautiful chapel. Now let me convince you that that church used to be a cemetery at the time of Jesus. We're entering to a chapel that doesn't look like the most important chapel in the world, isn't it, Steve? And what about you, Carrie? I mean, look at that. Look at the graffiti from the last years. You can see 218. This is one of the problems in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Because the church is owned by everyone wants the best share for themselves. And from time to time there are less argument who owns what. For example, now there is a debate about that room. Is it owned by the Armenian or by the Church of Syria? But I entered here because of a few things. First of all, I want to bless the crosses at the 4th century church. This is the first time that, this is the first church in the world. Let's start with it. St. Helena came, the mother of Constantine, because Constantine and his mother wanted to show the people the history of Jesus and to build churches on top of it. Now that was a new issue because before that the Romans were pagans, temples. Then when they came to here, what they found here is a temple. They destroyed and started to look for evidence. One of the first evidence was the tomb of Jesus, and you saw the tomb. The problem is that what you saw is totally new, because the tomb been destroyed so many times. But next to it, there is a tomb from the time of Jesus. And this is the reason to enter. To here, let me see. All right. I'm using now the flashlight, and you can see there are some niches here. We call it kuchim. And they are fuselated. Some of them are even closed. Let me enter a little bit. You see there's a stone there. And there's a stone there. 2 stones. All together here we can find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 niches. And then what's happening here? For that, we must talk about the site itself, the site that we call it Golgotha, or Joseph over Arimathea Garden. King Herod used that place as a quarry to build the city. This is an amazing evidence, because if you are building, if you have quarries, it's always out of the city. Inside the city, it's very expensive real estate. Then, in that matter, when King Herod died, after he used that quarry to build his city and the Jewish temple, people used it for so many functional things. For example, part of it they turned into a water system, because there's no water in Jerusalem, and every place that you can turn into a water system, it's important. Secondly, tombs. If that was a quarry, it means that it's easy to build tombs, rock-cut tombs. And that used to be a cave. And they used to bury the people in those niches. But what will happen to this 6th one? There's no place for him. They will open the oldest niches, the oldest niche, and they will take the bones out, will put it in a small ossuary, and then in the storeroom they can put it there, together with the rest of the family who already left us. Then they can bury someone else instead of it. Now, it's important for me to tell you that, because the Bible mentions 2 things, 2 important things. One is that the Golgotha is very close to the tomb, to the crucifixion, to the garden of Joseph of Arimathea. Secondly, Jesus got a tomb from Joseph of Arimathea in his garden, and we are in his garden, that no one touched before. And that is such an important thing to understand, because no one touched that before, the tomb of Jesus. But here, they use it so many times. Then in that case, now we can understand the meaning of it. Then, Carrie, Steve, Bon from Melbourne, Australia. Let's continue our mission. And as you can see, we are part of the excavation here to find or to deal with the ancient stones or floor stones. Every place here is like how should I say it? A storeroom for it. And we make a round tour around the tomb. Let me see if I can do something, because I'm not sure that I'm supposed to do that. been here. It's always closed. Then they might shout at me. Wow. Hello. First time here. I know that there was an exit to the Mariam tomb from there. Maybe it goes there. I cannot climb up. I wanted to see the church from upstairs, from the Franciscans area, but without any. Thank you. Oh, at least we tried. I wanted to be up there. Because we're doing everything backward, then let's continue with it. This is a Catholic section, and that's where Mary saw Jesus. Mary was standing here, I'm talking about Mary Magdalene, on Sunday, and Jesus was standing there. She was looking for his body. Then she asked the people, "Did you see my Lord? Did you see my Lord?" And then she saw a gardener. And he said, "I am your Lord, but you cannot touch me. I didn't reach my Father. I'm not pure in a way." I love that painting. And let's listen a little bit more to the Greek Orthodox. Remember when we entered, that was empty. Look what's happening now. Then we saw the resurrection area, we saw the tomb, and we are going backward. This is an Armenian chapel. According to the Armenians, women were watching the Golgotha from here, the crucifixion from here, and the fire. Remember the light that we saw at the church, at the tomb? That is part of the holy fire. Then you can see where it is, and let's bless ourselves with it as well. And we are leaving the Armenian chapel. And let's look at what we did and what we are going to do now. We saw the burial site, we saw the tomb, and remember at Joseph of Arimathea tomb, in the chapel that we entered, we saw real tombs from the time of Jesus. Then that was a cave. You can see here Nectiminos, John, the disciple, Joseph of Arimathea, the amazing mother that actually is now seeing her son dead in front of her, and the ladies. Going backward, guess what we're going to see. As a Jew, after he died, they purified him quickly. They did it quickly because the Shabbat, the holiday, is starting soon. A day in Judaism starts at sunset. Today it's Wednesday. When I reach my house, it's going to be already dark, and that's going to be Thursday. Then Joseph of Arimathea, we will see it later on, asked to get the body of Jesus before the holiday begins and bury him. And they purified his body as quick as they could. They put a linen on his body. You see the linen here. In the background you can hear the Greek Orthodox. So touching. And again, the mother, Mary Magdalene, the women, John, the disciple, Joseph of Arimathea and Neptunius. You can see the nails and the purification vase. Why I was talking about it now? Because that is the stone, the anointing stone. Now, it's what you saw is a Franciscan's monk, and I'm blessing the crosses and the place that they anointed the body of Jesus. And this is such an important thing for me. Then it's already touched the tomb of Jesus, the place that he purified his body, and we will climb up to the Golgotha to see where Jesus was crucified. The Golgotha belongs to Catholic and Greek Orthodox. Remember, that church belongs to everyone. Armenian, you saw Copts. There are some Ethiopians outside the church, and we're going to visit it soon, at least to see it. This is the crucifixion area. The Franks Chapel. That's where they stripped him from his clothes, and remember the lot that I did. And then here, because there's no one, I will first bless it and then I will talk about it. That's where they nailed Jesus to the cross. I will talk about it soon. That is the Pietà, Mary with a spear in her heart. And this is the bedrock of the Golgotha. That's where it's going. And bless yourself there. This is where they crucified him. This is the exact spot of the crucifixion. Let's put it on the Golgotha here as well for you. Remember, one is to your house, the other one is to carry his purse. I want her to carry it all the time. than what we can see here. Jesus symbolized 4 letters in 3 different languages. Jesus from Nazareth, King of the Jews. Next to it is John the disciple. John will always be without beard because he is the beloved one, he is the youngest one. Mary is right there. While Jesus was on the cross, he asked John to take care of his mother. Without that, she might die. People ask me what is actually behind it. The same idea. It's an icon of Jesus. After he died, Mary had to carry a son. Oh, let's start with it. Mary saw her son death, which was a horrible thing. To die after your child, this is something that a person won't be able to accept. It's such pain, and that's one thing. But Mary knew it when Jesus was 40 days old. When they entered to the presentation at the temple, Mary heard from Saint Simon that her son will die in front of her eyes. Steve, Carrie, this is horrible. From that moment, she never smiled. She knew her future. She knew her futures, her son's future. This is horrible. But before that, remember, I wanted to bless you before someone will come, and it's still quiet here, very early morning. They nailed him to the cross. Remember that we saw before that they stripped him from his clothes as well. Those part of the Via Dolorosa. Via Dolorosa is the way that Jesus walked with his cross on. Then in that case, nailing to the cross is one of the Via Dolorosa station. And look at the beautiful mosaic on the wall. Actually tells us the story from Adam and Eve till the crucifixion. There's so many symbols here, and I do have a video of it, and if you will ask me about it, send me a message and I will send you the link. One thing that I want you to understand about that, if you want to have your own crosses, then go to Buy Me a Coffee link. That is where you will see the options, and the tour, and the option includes one of the crosses or the Holy Bible and a video, and of course that I will send it to Melbourne, Australia. That's going to be in their hand. Then everything's so new because it's been destroyed. The church was burned down in 1808, but here you can see part of the mosaic that left without any damage. The ascension of Jesus, that was like a week ago, from the 12th century. This is the crucifixion place. Let's listen to that. Beautiful icons, different kind of art at the Greek Orthodox chapel. Everything about the last week. Judas kissing him. He's praying at the Garden of Gethsemane. And now when you know the story and you didn't want to shout there, you will understand it better. You can see the Golgotha right here. And Joseph of Arimathea, which is the upper one with the beard, was part of the Sanhedrin of the Jewish community. But he believed in Jesus. That was a kind of a secret because he cannot do that as a Jew. And he went to Pontius Pilate to get the body of Jesus. Now, this is so important, mainly because you must bury the dead before sunset. We already know it. But when he went to Pontius Pilate and he got the body, it means that he knows. I mean, he's got power. I mean, Pontius Pilate knows him. Then with him, because he knows Nicodemus and John, the disciple, the women. I believe that this is Mary Magdalene, the mother, and the rest we already did. But let me show you two more things. First one is Adam Chapel. This is the Golgotha. We were above it. Then at around 3 o'clock the earth shake and Jesus left us. Some drops of blood, holy blood, fell into that creek. You see the result of the earthquake. And so many people resurrected. According to the Greek Orthodox, one of them was Adam. Adam from Adam and Eve. Now let me see if the Father will let me go in. Father, can I go to bless it? Thank you very much. Thank you. It's usually closed. And Steve and Carrie, I'm blessing your crosses here at the place that we can find the true cross in the Greek Orthodox chapel. And I will be quiet for 1 minute. Steve, it's not because of me. It's because of your wife. the energy of her opened the door for the true cross. Do you have to think about it, Steve? One thing is that you accept your wife's way and join her. Someone is blushing now. Don't be mad at me. This is part of the Golgotha. Again, we were above it. Let me show you another chapel. There on that stone, while Jesus was waiting for his trial, he was sitting on it, and he didn't have a good life. He was laughing at him. They beat him. He called him the King of the Jews. He was forced to dress a king's clothes. They put the thorn of horn on his head. Listen to the prayer. This is part of the storeroom of the stones, the flow stones that he took out. They store him here. It's so sad that they are not letting us watch it. The secret. Why not to know what's happening here? And the last place here at the beautiful church, before we're going to go to see the chapel of the Ethiopians. This is the prison of Jesus, and someone actually told me, why are you calling him Jesus? Why not Yeshua, which is his real name, salvation? It's automatically, every time that you hear Jesus, think about Yeshua, salvation. And this is the prison of Christ. Just before they crucified him, he had to wait together with the three other two. And let's go out the church, but we are not, it's not the end of the video. We want to visit one of the Ethiopian churches, and until we go out, did you subscribe my channel? If you want to help me with that channel, you can enter to PayPal, my PayPal account, and you can see the account at the description of that video, which is beneath that video. If you won't find it, I will be more than happy to send it to you. Then just ask me via YouTube, and I will send you the link. But if you will write PayPal and my name is Zahi Shaked, I'm sure that you will find it. That's how some of my subscribers found it. And now the Golgotha is occupied. Lots of people. Look at the sun. The weather is amazing. June 1st, it's hot, but not so hot. Before we will see the Armenian chapel, the Ethiopian chapel, I want you to know that the Ethiopians believe that they are the result of a meeting between Queen Shiva and King Solomon. And 9 months later, the first Ethiopian was born. The king came to his father when he was around 20 years old, and his father gave him the Ark of the Covenant. Then the Ethiopian believes that it's in Ethiopia. There are 2 chapels here attached the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and you will see that it's divided into 2. The first part is for the disciples, and the inner part is the Holy of the Holy. That's where a replica of, or the energy of the Ark of the Covenant there is allocated, and only the high priest can go in there. Then, Carrie, Steve, from Melbourne, and the rest to watch it until now. It's 42 minutes. Then I'm blessing you. And I hope that you're going to have an amazing time. Don't forget to watch my videos. And one more thing, let me be a little bit proud. I've got 20,002 videos on YouTube. Yay! I'm happy. Thank you very much. And it's so amazing that you, Steve, asked me for that cross for your wife. This is love. This is love. This is love. Thank you very much and see you. Bye bye.